Hello YouTubers. In today's video, if you guys were ever wondering how many times I've wound my Howard Miller grandfather clock, I actually have the answer to that, which I'll get to in a little bit. This grandfather clock has been running smoothly for 5.5 months and is in beautiful condition still. I hope my Howard Miller grandfather clock tends to continue in such beautiful condition in the future, because this is such a gorgeous grandfather clock. It's beautiful. It's a triple chime clock, which means it can play any out of the three melodies. It has Whittington, St. Michael's, Westminster, and off. Does also have the night shut off feature where it can be quiet at night for people who think that they are light sleepers. I believe when the chime turns off, I believe it's either 10 o'clock the chime turns off, then it resumes at, I think, 7:15, or it might be the chime stops at 10, then the chimes resume in the morning at 7, or it might be 10:15 p.m. the clock. The chimes stop and then it resumes at 7:15, but I'm not too sure. I also, actually, if you might not notice, YouTubers, I've never actually got this clock oiled before, because I just got it last year, in the end of July 2024. I wind the clock, by the way, every Sunday, because that's the best day to wind it, because it's the start of the week. The thing is, if I ever go on vacation or something, I might lose track of time when to wind the grandfather clock, and then if I come back after vacation and the clock is wound down and it's not a Sunday, the winding schedule might start to get a little wonky. So maybe what I could do instead, YouTubers, is I could stop the clock once I'm about to leave for a few days or something, on vacation or something. Then when I get back, I can continue and then start the clock again when I get back, so I don't need to fix the winding schedule. Again, I wind the clock every Sunday because that's the start of the week. Some reason I cannot get the Whittington chime to work, because there is not enough room for the lever to let it chime the Whittington chime. But it does work with the St. Michael's chime and the Westminster chime, though. I was thinking that actually the hammers need adjustment, because each hammer doesn't, the tone doesn't make a big difference. They sound the same. The strike is okay though, YouTubers. But when I set the time to the exact time, YouTubers, it tends to get more and more ahead of the actual time as time goes by. It gets 5 minutes ahead, then it gets 10 minutes ahead. So what I have to do usually, YouTubers, is I have to stop the clock and then wait for the actual time to come. And what I have to do is I actually have to wait for the time to come. Then what I have to do is I have to start the clock about 5 minutes behind the actual time, so it doesn't get ahead. So the time doesn't get ahead of the actual time again. But I'm not sure if that is going to work, YouTubers. If I set the time 5 minutes behind before the actual time, if that's gonna work, I'm not too sure though. I actually have the number of times, how many times I've wound this grandfather clock, YouTubers, since I got it in the end of July. I have a bar graph over here, YouTubers, which I just made. So how I made this, YouTubers, is I actually used my phone, and then every time I wind the grandfather clock, so every time I wind the grandfather clock, YouTubers, I put the exact date, the month, and the year when I wound the grandfather clock. So far, here's the bar graph. In July, YouTubers, I wound this grandfather clock 4 times in July. Then in September, I wound the clock 5 times. Then in October, I wound it 4 times, just like in July. Then in November, I wound it 4 times again, just like July and October. In December, I wound it 5 times, just like September. And in January, I wound it only 2 times, which is the month I actually wound it the least. But that's because January isn't over yet. The months I haven't wound this grandfather clock yet was February, March, April, May, and June. That's because the clock isn't a whole year old yet. And if you guys wonder how many times I wound it, since I first got in July, we can count it here, YouTubers. I'm gonna start from the top, YouTubers, then I'm gonna go down and then scroll all the way to the bottom so you can guys tell how many times I wound this grandfather clock over here. So let's see. See, I wound it so far 1, 2, 3. Now I'm not gonna probably get the correct answer. I might skip count one date, or I might overcount the same date more than once. But I'm not too sure. I'll do my best not to miss any date, YouTubers, that I count. Though I'll try to get the number of counts as perfect as possible. All right, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. I think I wound the clock, YouTubers, so far 28 times since I got it in the end of July last year. Maybe it's probably somewhere in between, I'd say 25 and 29 times, but I might be wrong, YouTubers. If you guys do know the actual answer, like the perfect answer of how many times I wound the clock, leave it in the comment section below of how many times I wound the clock. Again, I haven't again, like I said earlier, YouTubers, I haven't wound this clock again in February, March, April, May, and June, because those months haven't passed yet. And again, the clock is not a whole year old yet. So if you guys ever want me to make more videos of this grandfather clock, feel free to let me know in the comment section below if you would like me to make more videos of this grandfather clock. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please subscribe, rate, like, and dislike. Comment below. Being a #1 fan. So you always know it. Peace out.